Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So here's a question for you. Why do we like things, right? Why do you like things? Why do I like things? Why do we say we like things? I'm going to posit more often than not, it's because we think we should like them. We think we expect to like them. We have an anticipation of liking them. Not always is it because we actually do like them. Really? I mean, I'll give you an example. I watched Snowpiercer, which is okay. Listen, the first season I thought was very good. It had Jennifer Connelly in it, who's just a fantastic actor, and I followed her career basically because she was young and very hot when I was young but not very hot. But I was a guy, so yeah, everything was okay. It's a man's world, baby. So no, but like her career kind of grew up with mine. I saw her in Labyrinth when I was a kid, and then I saw her wearing a lot less clothes in like the late 80s. And boy, were those good moments of my of my childhood. Anyway, as I said, I liked her a lot. And then they brought Sean Bean in for the second season, which wasn't as good because essentially they wrote her out. So I'm watching the third season now. And it's really not very good, right? It's just I'm invested in the story somewhat, and I have an expectation that I might like it, right? So I sit through it, and I'm not really enjoying it. And that happens a lot. That's why when I watch something that I enjoy, like The Adam Project, right? I enjoyed that. I had fun. I thought it was great. I thought it was a lovely movie. I'm going to do a review on that soon. And that just surprised me because I had no expectation going into that at all, which is always really kind of fun. So I want to apply that over to the, let's say, the creative journalism we've had over the last few years in Doctor Who. And people like say, listen, the current era of Doctor Who is the bestest ever. Now, a lot of that's nonsense, obviously. A lot of that is people just being disingenuous and lying. 100%, but I think there's a lot of it as well that people who are just like carried along by this like flood of this narrative, right? People get carried away on a narrative. Listen, we're heading towards a nuclear war because people are getting carried away on a narrative, So yeah, don't underestimate what being carried away on a narrative can do for you. So there's two articles that came out in Looper. Which is actually quite a good website. I found quite a few Doctor Who articles on there which are considered and reasonably intelligent, right? Which you don't find that so often, right? But also they're journalists, and they're from a journalistic point of view, and sort of journalists. But I'm sure there's some journalists there. And the journalist's point of view is that Jodie Whittaker broke the glass ceiling and she's the bestest ever, and it's very, very good, and this is just bodes well for the future, right? And that's a crushing failure. It's like that didn't go down too well. Anyway, so we have these two articles from them. One where they have to talk about Jodie Whittaker, so they do toe the company line, or the received wisdom as it is within the Shill media, which is very different from what it was a year ago. Same with Biden, right? Like now you have like Trevor Noah, who I really don't like much, say this guy's awful. Like we have mainstream people going, oh no, this is a total failure. And 6 months ago, 3 months ago, I mean, I think Afghanistan was the thing that really changed it, but still 3 months ago, it was still somewhat verboten to say that. Now it's like people are turning on him. But also same with the narrative about this current era of Doctor Who. Basically, everybody says, hey, Jodie Whittaker's fantastic, but the writing, could have been better. That's essentially the received wisdom. And we're going to see that applied in these two articles. One which has to talk about Jodie Whittaker, and one where they just talk about Doctor Who randomly, and surprisingly enough, they do not. Well, rather unsurprising enough, they do not. Fine. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be very, very nice. I like to be liked, and I need a bit of help. YouTube did another one of their YouTube audits and took off a bunch of subscribers. I'm a bit bummed. What can you do? If you're can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? Can you hit the subscribe button? Please comment because that also helps the algorithms. I don't know why we're trying to help the algorithm that is so intrinsically designed to not like me, but I guess if we don't do things they like, then they will not like me a lot more, right? So like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are good. If you're already subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. Check me out on Rumble. And boy, am I looking forward to a universe where Google gets outlawed and we all have to go to Rumble. Oh, yes, that'll be very, very good. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. But check me out on Rumble. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button. Sign up to my Substack. I'm recording this on Wednesday, March 16th. It's a fast day today because tonight is the holiday of Purim. So you normally, when you indulge, which you do a lot on Purim, lots of candy, lots of drink, okay, lots of food. When you indulge, normally there's some kind of like penance afterwards. It's not really set out so black and white, but you do find, like after you have like holidays where it's quite indulgent, then you got like days where you like beat your chest, literally, and you say sorry for being quite so indulgent. But this one I'm pouring because I want you to enjoy it. You beat your chest beforehand. So the day is the fast day, the fast of Esther, and I got to record this before I pass out. But my plan is get these videos done and in the can, and then might be this might be the incredible day I Google how to make an NFT, because I'm going to give them to the people who sign up for my paid Substack. I have a free Substack, which is awesome. Please sign up for that. Substack is my email newsletter. Although I have to check it. Somebody sent me an email this morning and said, "What's going on with Substack?" I'm like, I don't know. Seems to be fine to me. Last time I haven't looked at it this morning. Anyway, I have a Substack. Please sign up for that. My email newsletter, and I put out a bunch of comics on there as well. Mine and out of print, cool stuff they haven't seen for years and years and years. And as I said, you get NFTs. I think I'm going to put out some exclusive comics as well on my paid Substack. Fine! Like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack. We have covered everything. Let's look at this first article we got here. Doink. There you go. Fine. The doctors from Doctor Who ranked worst to best. So this article here really genuinely shows somebody regurgitating what they think they should say because they don't know much about Doctor Who, right? They never were that into Doctor Who, so it's more about what they think should be the answer. And they looked on Wikipedia, right? So here, they actually talk about their watching Doctor Who. Argument which version of Doctor is the best Doctor Who is nearly as old as a half century plus it's been running. As series has been running. That's kind of fair. I mean, listen, I'm kind of a kind of person who says, who's your favorite Doctor? All of them, really. They really all are. William Hartnell laid down the mantle. Blah 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 blah. Fanboy, opposite Troughton, fighting over the minutiae. The best parts of fandom used to be. Didn't it used to be great? Like, had different theories for Mordred Undead. That used to be great. And decades of television have built up plenty of fractures amongst the massive, ever-growing legion of fans. Well, massively shrunken legion of fans, I think you'd say. It's likely somewhat true that your Doctor Who allegiances are shaped by the age of initial exposure. Yes. Like following television dinosaurs, Saturday Night Live. God, does anybody watch that anymore? You come to think whatever you saw first is the best. I agree with that. We follow Stephen Moffat and spent the years creasing our brows with over interdimensional astronauts while plotting out timelines with red twine. It shouldn't be much harder to strain our brains to put the Doctors in proper order. So anyway, Alonzi, so they watched a bit of Stephen Moffat, is what they're saying. So honourable mention, not even listed, John Hurt as the War Doctor, way down at number 13. Or yeah, was it? Okay, ever since they changed the numbering, and I'm not talking about the Timeless Children and that nonsense, I'm talking about the War Doctor, which I like a lot. So wait, we got the first 7, 8, okay, so we got John Hurt is the 9th Doctor, then the 9th Doctor is the 10th, the 10th is the 11th, the 10th is the 11th, the 11th is the 12th, and Capaldi is the 13th. Okay! And then Jodie is, if you count the Meta Crisis Doctor, then Capaldi is 14, I guess. So they put him don't put him on this because they don't really know what to do with him, right? Because they're not really Doctor Who fans. Then right at the bottom, Paul McGann. How did Paul McGann get to the bottom? It's really weird. Paul McGann never had a chance. He only appeared on screen once in a reviled made-for-television movie that undermined attempts to bring back Doctor Who for years. Absolutely not true. Absolute. I mean, really? What's that Wikipedia reading from? But again, this is somebody regurgitating what he thinks is the right answer, not what actually is what he thinks, because he doesn't really think about Doctor Who. Not mentioning Big Finish. I mean, come on. Colin Baker. I think there's an argument to put Colin Baker towards the bottom of this, and I love Colin Baker. I am looking forward to season 22 coming out. I even like season 23. I've got all this Big Finish. I like his Doctor, right? But he's a Doctor that needed to be somewhat redeemed because, the production team weren't doing their best at the time, right? Unfortunately, his first season, it was all the 80s excesses and body horror. And by that, I'm not talking about Paris Band-Aids. No horror there, mate. Just elation. But, and then the second half is like Eric Saywood and John Nathan Turner just hating life and each other, right? Essentially. So yeah, okay, sixth Doctor. But again, this is the received wisdom. Seventh Doctor, how? How do you end up right at the bottom? I don't understand. First season, and finding his feet a bit dodgy, but seasons 2 and 3, 25 and 26, freaking excellent. Don't know again. Peter Davis. See, personally, again, this is my personal ranking. This is not a scientific ranking. My personal ranking, I will put Sylvester McCoy over Peter Davison here, right? But Peter Davison, okay, lot of good stories. Lot of good stories with Peter Davison. William Hartnell, the first Doctor. Well, used to be. I mean, great performance, right? We're talking about what one I enjoy watching. Well, it's minutiae, really, because I like them all a lot. So, this is it's a hard one. Like now, like kind of out of the ability to rank. I think I'll probably put him above Peter Davison and below Sylvester McCoy because I really like Sylvester McCoy. Okay, again, this is mine. So here's the thing: these are Doctors we don't know. Okay, These are the now we got to put Jodie Whittaker in, not the top, not the bottom, right? Because we can't put her at the bottom because that's wrong. She's the first woman. She can't be the utter failure, right? We can't put her at the top because everybody knows she's crap. So received wisdom is you put her right in the middle. Or just below the middle, right? So that they're just doing what they're expected to do. It'll be easy to feel sorry for Jodie Whittaker. I haven't found such ease as yet. If she didn't knock her performance of the Doctor out the park, she didn't. It would be easy to feel sorry for Jodie Whittaker if she didn't knock her performance of Doctor out the park. Again, this is just received wisdom. When did she do that? Can you name me the speech, right? Can you name me the moment when you go, wow, that was incredible? No, they just be vague. Well, everything. Oh, she stepped into the role as the first ever woman to play the Doctor. I didn't know. I'm glad they mentioned that. And played it so well that pitting her for misogynist backlash against her casting feels unnecessary. Again, why are you calling it a misogynist backlash? Because you thought her bad acting and her bad scripts were bad. I would think that somebody's bad acting and bad scripts were bad regardless of if they had a pee-pee or a vagina. Not that these things determine sex anymore, right? But again, why is it saying, oh my God, Arachnids in the UK was terrible? It makes me a misogynist, right? Because Arachnids in the UK was terrible, right? But again, just received wisdom, right? You can't go against the crowd. The doubters have all been proved wrong by how well she holds down one of the most recognizable roles in fiction. Yeah, no, the doubters have all been proved right by the utter failure it's been. By every metric possible. It's just, look, who cares? Listen, we can't say the truth. She still falls well below the highs of New Who, however, which is the only thing this person's seen. However, she has time to remedy that as the current possessor of the role of the Doctor. She swings back from Capaldi's standoffish thrill seeker. She's nothing like Capaldi's take on the Doctor, which was probably the best acting I've seen. Incredible. She standoffish role, thrill seeker, playing 13 with a bubbly and friendly helper who loves humans as much as she loves solving problems. Well, she can't solve problems. She's useless, right? What problem has she been able to solve? She normally stands back and watches, or, she gets somebody else to do it. She couldn't break out of prison. Captain Jack had to break it. She can't solve problems. But I just will say, again, let's detach it from reality. Detach it from reality whatsoever, and then we can make this claim. Given that Whittaker is set to play the Doctor for years to come, her replacement list may well change. No, she's not. Wait, this came out in 2022. This is like a month old, this article. Wait a minute. When's this from? February 8th, 2022. Years to come? Blimey. I don't know what you're smoking, mate, but part of me goes, yes, I would like to try some of that, because clearly you're off your face. The other part of me says, but does that mean I would like awful stuff and start lying a lot? Because then, no. Third Doctor, so at least Pertwee gets put above Jodie Whittaker. John likes to go on top, from what I understand. Then Capaldi, okay. I don't know why he's so far down the list. Just they know his stories were good, sort of, and they had Bill Potts in, and so he's an ally. Matt Smith, freaking perfect portrayal. I will put him very high up. I love this Doctor. Patrick Troughton. I guess they're putting this on because they know Matt Smith says he bases his performance on Patrick Troughton. Right? Again, this is all received wisdom. It's not real opinions. Ninth Doctor. I'm intrigued they put him there. I mean, I think Ninth Doctor is doing good to find his potential. Start finding the potential with the Big Finish releases, but hasn't really got there yet. Right, I would like to see some like real classic. Was it Eccleston, and which I think we got a bit of, but I would like to see something a bit more grandiose. That's why I like their first story, the 3-part one they did, the Dick Briggs 3-part. What's it called again? Ravagers, because it felt meaty. Right, I would like to see something with weight and gravitas, for this Doctor. But yeah, listen, I think he's still kind of in the starting block. Again, David Tennant. Well, we got to put him near the top because everybody saw David Tennant. David Tennant is well renowned, but then they got to prove they're real Doctor Who fans by putting Don Baker at the top. Oh, look at us! So okay, that's again. Says Jodie Whittaker. Bout in the middle, right? Bout in the middle. Not the best, not the worst. It's the received wisdom for today, even though totally detached from reality, right? So now let's juxtapose this with this little list. And this I'm going to refresh this to get rid of this ad. Because this list might take us some time, okay? This is a bit of a rabbit hole, right? Okay, 1 second. Okay. Oh man, it's weird. It is really weird. I've been sick all week, and I'm taking this medication, which means I got to drink. And I said it's a fasting day. I freaking never do this, right? And it's such a. I get look. What can I do? This is what they told me to do. But it's just really, really strange. What's the word? By Jewish law, it'll be verboten for me not to. So I'm like, okay. But it's a minor fast. You're just getting my guilt and you're getting my Catholic guilt there coming through. But anyway, list of the 30 best episodes. I wonder where Jodie ranks on this. I bet she'll be near the top, right? Or at least near the middle. That's no, because this one's written by somebody who's actually watched Doctor Who before. And when you had to come up with a list of best episodes, they had to come up with a list they thought the best episodes. So I haven't watched much Doctor Who, as you're going to see. 11th hour, number 30. I'll put 11 hour a lot higher up, right? A lot higher up. I think it's probably the best debut story, right? I think it's probably the best debut story. Let me think. I think better than Christmas Invasion. Better than Rose, much better than Rose. Better than Deep Breath. Deep Breath was a real disappointment, right? Bet the Twin Dilemma, I would say. Actually, I think it's kind of on a par with Enemy Within or the Doctor Who, the movie, whatever you want to call it. Then what we got? Twin Dilemma, Bet Them Robot. Yeah, 11th hour, Bet Them Robot. better than Spearhead from Space, but not by much. Well, Spearhead from Space, they did added new effects onto the Blu-ray of it, and you saw the nesting squid appear, towards the end, and it looked really weird. It just didn't work very well at all. And then, okay, I think probably Spearhead from Space, probably on a par with Power of the Daleks. Power of the Daleks, freaking excellent. So let's see what they got to say about it. Full series premiere, the 11th hour saw the debut of Matt Smith's 11th Doctor, who arrives on Earth in a broken TARDIS, suffering from after the effects of a traumatic regeneration in the English village of Ledworth. Okay, so he's clearly watched it. The Doctor meets a little girl, Amelia. The two bond before he must depart and fix his ship. Upon returning, he finds Amelia all grown up and now called Amy Pond, living in a house that has come to a vicious psychic creature, prisoner, and it's a criminal known as Prisoner Zero. On the run, the monsters pursuer, the Atraxi, threaten the world, threaten to destroy the world, threaten to destroy the Earth if he doesn't surrender. Without his TARDIS sonic screwdriver, with the sonic screwdriver damage, the Doctor must rely on his new companion Amy to track down Prisoner Zero and prevent annihilation of the planet. No, he must rely only on his wits, right? Freaking awesome! Absolutely awesome! Right? It was Doctor Who doing everything that Doctor Who does best. Dead the Moon. The problem with Matt Smith's second season was it didn't deliver its promise quite as much. I mean, like, that trailer was fantastic with the spacesuit and River Song's narration. He's going to fall farther. Just incredible, right? Those trailers. But if you ever want to have a really good 3 minutes of your life, oh, she cried. And there's go and Google those trailers from especially the Moffat years, right? It's the season 4 trailer. They're so good, right? They're so good, and this one again, the trailer didn't match what they delivered wasn't as good as the trailer, and that was freaking awesome, right? That was awesome beyond awesome, but really good. So Day of the Moon, listen, I like the silence. The second half of the two-part that began with the Impossible Astronaut, the sixth series episode, Day of the Moon, sends the Doctor, River, Amy, and Rory, and American Secret Service Carlton Delaware III in 1969. The mission to attempt to hold back an alien invasion by a race called the Silence. But disturbing new information reveals the Silence aren't trying to invade. They already have done. Furthermore, they have been part of the Earth's history for hundreds of years, controlling worldwide events for their own ends. Yeah, listen, Silence was just a good villain. What can I tell you? Great monster, great villain. I think they scored the concept and the representation. Awesome. I think they really worked on this season. As the Doctor works out a plan to expose the Silence and drive them off the Earth, Amy and Captain. It's hard to, because whenever anybody's not looking at them, they forget they exist. Work undercover to uncover a secret mysterious little girl in a spacesuit who seems to have extraordinary powers. Yeah. Fantastic episode, right? See what I mean? We've got 28 to go. These are all going to be good. Turn left. It's freaking perfect, Doctor Who, right? I think this is the bottle episode they did without David Tennant, because back in the day they made so much Doctor Who they couldn't actually physically get the actors in every episode, right? So they had to have a bottle episode where they didn't have one of the actors in. They had Turn Left was the one without David Tennant, and then you had. What's the name of that one? Oh, so good. David Tennant on the moon, on this on this moon rover thing with a somebody who with a alien that mimics speech. What the name was that? Great episode. Just two really great episodes. My premise is that when you ever put constrictors on a good writer, you just get good stuff out, right? Turn Left, awesome. Turn Left focuses on Doctor Companion's companion Donna Noble, who visits an alien fortune teller and allows her to go back to make different choices, creating an alternate timeline where she never met the Doctor, when she's not there to help him with his first meeting. Oh God, I forgot how sad this was. right? When you saw the world fall apart, right? And they all go into refugee status there, and they start shipping out the foreigners. It's fantastic, okay? Absolutely fantastic episode. When she's not there to help, yeah, he needs someone to help him. Yeah, he dies with rattles without a doctor to protect the Earth. The disastrous consequences include a death of a number of key figures in Doctor Who lore. But that wasn't disastrous. That was fantastic, right? That was absolutely fantastic because it showed all the the friends of the Doctor, the companions, stepping up, right? Really stepping up and being the Doctor in his presence, exactly like the Doctor would absolutely want them to do. In some ways, Turned Left is Doctor Who version of It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, what's the word? Closing doors, rotating doors. What's the name of that movie? I can't remember. Didn't look very good, right? Didn't look. Oh, man. Oh, the spring I must be getting hay fever. I'm streaming. Nose is so blocked up. I still don't know how important she is to the Doctor, but the impact of President, and her sacrifice in everything about this episode is fantastic, right? If you haven't seen it, it's a recommend. End of Time Part 2. I will put that below these two episodes, and even though, listen, you got David Tennant, Swan Song, and still, I think that's one of his weaker episodes. To be honest with you. David Tennant closed out his 3 seasons run of the Doctor in the End of Time Part 2, an epic conclusion in every way. The episodes include there's so many plot threads left dangling from that, right? And so many things that I don't think the villains really worked. I think the Master Race thing was great, but that was Part 1, right? It was everything with this one. You got Donna's fate. I don't know. I would not put. I'll put it in the top 30 maybe, but I'll put all the other episodes we saw above this one. You got Gallifrey returning, Rassilon. In his final bout, Tennant revisits the companion. Yeah, I thought that was a bit his tour, right? I just didn't really like that much. I just think a lot of things didn't really work that well, but as they've done such a great job, you kind of be indulgent with them. Impossible Astronaut. Okay, now this was a better episode. Yes, looked gorgeous, didn't it? Looked absolutely gorgeous. Summoned to Utah, Amy, Rory, and Riversong meet the Doctor, who offers to take them to space in 1969. The episode, The Impossible Astronaut, before they stop by a picnic by Lake Silencio, called The Silence, to witness an astronaut in full regalia emerge from the water and murder the Doctor. Yeah, what a great cliffhanger, right? What an absolute great cliffhanger at the beginning of an episode. While mourning the death of the Doctor, the surviving trio meet a diner and discover another version of the Doctor from before he had died on the lakeside. Without telling him about his death, the group travels back to Washington to 1969, and there they must work with Richard Nixon and Secret Saver and Calvin Delaware. Honestly, the ending that was really spoiled by this two-parter. Well, a couple of things, but the shoehorning in of what's his name, the Secret Service agent Canton Delaware, which I like that they had. What's his name? They had the son playing when he's younger and the father playing when he's older. I want to marry someone I'm not allowed to. And who is it? Could it be a Negro? Trying to beat the silence. And he goes, yes, he is. I'm like, dude, in 1969, the ideas of same-sex marriage was ridiculous. In 89, it was ridiculous, right? Let alone 60 bloody 9. 69, one of my favorite numbers. I will never, ever miss up that joke. Let's be fair. I like the 6. I like the 6 a lot. The 9, fair. I can take it or leave it. Okay, listen, not a great episode, but a great performance. Like much of his first season. Was it season 8? Yeah, it was held together by this incredible magnetic performance. Most of the stories weren't that great. This one was a bit overindulgent, and it was again, it was really written around Capaldi's performance, right? The 12th Doctor and Clara find their lives intertwined with the in the 8th episode. Listen, where Clara is dealing with her relationship troubles with Danny. which, yeah, that kind of dragged a little bit. And I had to say, I really wish that two-parter in the season worked better, but it really, really didn't, right? By the way, have you noticed who hasn't been on the list yet? Yeah, no Jodie. Weird that, isn't it? Weird. Doctor was a theoretical concept of a creature with a perfect ability to hide. He believes such a creature could be the source of universal fear and having a dark similar experience as a child. I mean, it just strikes me as an episode that it's designed for the performance more than anything else, than the story, than the script. I don't know. The pair begin to experiment and inadvertently travel back to Dana's childhood, where Clara is forced to hide from a younger version of her boyfriend. The Doctor, meanwhile, believes he's found it, the entity he theorized, but before Clara can help him prove it, she'll find herself playing a vital role in the Doctor's past. Yeah, none of that really worked. The only thing about it that really worked was the performance. I like the lore of the Doctor's shed that he lived in, not shed, a barn. That was kind of nice. Human nature. Oh, gorgeous episode, right? Yeah, David Tennant knocking out the park, being fantastic. Well recommend you picking up, if you can find it, the Paul Cornell book that it was based on with the Seventh Doctor. Absolutely beautiful episode. Human Nature opens up with the Doctor and Martha Jones on the run from a group of beings called the Family of Blood. Yes, what a great addition, right? Along with the scarecrows. The aliens want the Doctor so they can feed off his life energy and extend their lives, and are relentless in their pursuit. Well, in the book, I'm not sure if this was the same in the TV show, right? It was the Aubergines or something was the name of the villains, the aliens, and it was one has a family of like 8 of them, and then they die. But if each of those family of 8 can regenerate 12 times, they can then. And each one of those can regenerate 12 times, and each one of those can regenerate 12 times. They can become this huge, dominating, world-destroying force. And in fact, you do see that. There's a scene in the book where you see like the sacking of Gallifrey by the forces of again, aubergines, I think they were called. But yeah, that was what they wanted in the book. Maybe it's the same in the TV show. Last two efforts to prevent that from happening, the Doctor decides to evade detection by taking the persona of a human called John Smith in 1930 in England. Yeah, because they only got about a 3-month lifespan, right? That's why if they get regeneration, it will change the universe. Shedding his Time Lord agenda, he puts his memory and essence into a timepiece with the plan to have Martha revive him once the family blood have died out. But when a young boy forms a link with the timepiece, the family blood track the Doctor down. Martha's only choice may be to revive the Doctor. Was it earlier than planned? Yeah, listen, heartbreaking episode, wonderful. It's again just fantastic Doctor Who, going in places we haven't seen Doctor Who go before. But that feels as much Doctor Who to me as like Pyramids of Mars, right? The DNA is identical. Doctor's Wife, another fantastic episode. Neil Gaiman knocking it out the park, right? Absolutely knocking it out the park. In a high concept standalone episode written by the celebrated comic book scribe. Well, I think it's a bit belittling calling him comic book scribe. He's a very established novelist now, isn't he? The Doctor's Wife has the Doctor, Amy, and Rory lured to a junk planet outside of not time, the universe. Unbeknownst to the Doctor, there's an entity called House, played by a person who will not be a future Doctor. I can't remember his name. Bloody hell. Welsh guy. Good Omens. Okay, that's the close you're getting. I might remember before the end of the video. I was doing a live stream last night, and I couldn't remember the name of City of Death, right? I was going, and like an hour and a half later, but City of Death! And then, like, probably nobody was still there, right? It wasn't the same group of people still there. And I was like, So that might happen. The ending called House, who feeds off the energy of the TARDIS and has killed a number of Time Lords more. Fear me, I've killed hundreds of Time Lords. Fear me, I killed them all. Great freaking dialogue, right? But before Doctor and realise what's happening, the ship's matrix is removed and placed in the body of a woman called Ida, is now a humanoid. The TARDIS joins the Doctor in its companions in the fight to stop the villainous house from leaving the confines of his pocket universe. I mean, look, building the TARDIS out of junk TARDISes and using the was it Idris's TARDIS-y power to pay. Fantastic, right? It just, again, this is why we love Doctor Who. Stolen Earth. First time Doctor Who ever crossed over. First ever Doctor Who franchise crossover, was it? I mean, I guess so. I mean, look, Russell T Davies did a Avengers style universe. So you saw Sarah Jane and Captain Jack Harkness pop up, and the Doctor deal with the Daleks. It was going to end the season, huge story, beginning with the Doctor and the Donna returning to find the planet missing. And after contacting interstellar authorities to discover it's not the only one, right? Taking the planets to the interuniversal rifts of the Medusa Cascade. Don't you love the Rusty Davis way of I hate the way they give names to planets like the the Medusa Cascade. Like, these are words that mean things, that spark memories in your brain, and then you draw a picture. Like the Battle of Rurus Karura, whatever that stupid name of that first Chibnall season finale, right? Who cared, right? The Medusa Cascade. Oh, well, that says something, right? I don't know what it says, but it says something. Whereas Rurus Karura doesn't say anything. Tim Shaw doesn't spark anything off in his head. They find the Earth, greeted by the Doctor's old enemies, Davros. They thought lost during the Time War. Davros has plans to use the missing Earth and power to devastate the Doomsday weapon. The reality bomb is a bit crap, but who cares, right? To stop him, the Doctor will need to call help from some of his old friends. Glorious, right? Absolutely glorious. Rose Tyler shows up. We love it. Absolutely love it, right? This was a culmination. Of something built up organically. I don't think it was planned. He didn't plan this with Rose, but I think it was something built up organically of the Rusty Davises. Name of the Doctor. Oh, lovely episode, right? Absolutely lovely. We had the Name of the Doctor, Night of the Doctor, if over on, where was it, YouTube or somewhere, and then Dare the Doctor, and eventually the Time of the Doctor. Just a great little sequence of stories. Matt Smith really at his best. I think Matt Smith was fantastic. I didn't really like this costume the best, but I thought Matt Smith was fantastic in the role. Leading up to the 50th anniversary special, the Name of Doctor. Again, have you noticed who's missing? Yes, me too. Concluded the 6th series story that wrapped up with Clara's Companion 2 series long arc as the so-called Impossible Girl. It wasn't really 2 series long arc. No! She appeared as Oswin Oswald, right? Or Oswald Oswin, one of the two. As like in the Sign of the Daleks, and she turned up again in the Christmas special. I wouldn't call that that was 1 year. It wasn't 2 years. They split it over 2 years because Sherlock, I guess. Impossible Girl. Audience would finally get answers to the questions surrounding the young companion who appeared in multiple places in time and space when hunted by the great intelligence. Richard E. Grant, freaking awesome in the stellar performance. They just say it in the stellar performance. Yeah, he is great in this. They must finally travel to the place that the Doctor should never see. Trenzalore, his final resting place. Yeah, I love all that lore they put in. I thought that was great. Where his body is buried somewhere in time. There he must sacrifice himself to the universe with the help of Riversong Clara and make a fateful choice that will change the Doctor forever and reveal his greatest secret. With multiple twists and several major reveals, the perfect episode wraps up the year and leaves fans desperately aching for more follow-up the anniversary special. And it does introduce John Hurt's War Doctor, right? Who they wouldn't mention in the list, right? That does introduce that. We're at number 20, okay? No sign of Jodie. Daleks take Manhattan. Now, this was a season that people didn't like much, right? This was a season people didn't like. I like this story, though. I mean, it was the Amy and Rory writing out story, and it felt under dramatic, right? It felt should have been more, right? I think it just should maybe a 2-parter or something. It felt like it should have been more, but it just felt under dramatic. Look, I'm not going to read their blurbs anymore unless it's something particularly I want to hear them say. But yeah, let's just go through the list of the rest of the other 19. Empty Child, we get a bit of Eccleston there. This was when Eccleston said he actually understood the role, right? He actually understood the role with the Empty Child. And, the bananas thing, it was all great. It was all great. Captain Jack was great. Do you remember the cliffhanger, right? Back in 2005. What's the episode before this? I can't remember. It would have been not the Slovene one. Was it the long game? I can't remember. Whatever it is. Well, we saw the trailer of this one. He got Rose wearing the Union Jack T-shirt with the German planes coming towards her over London in World War II. Awesome, right? Are you my mummy? One of the most terrifying lines, delivered so well. I think this was Stephen Moffat's really reinvention of himself, quite frankly. One of his finest hours. One of his absolute finest hours. And also, Christopher Eccles is one of his finest hours. I was going to scroll on, but you know what? No. One of his finest hours as well. The resolution of the cliffhanger was fantastic when everyone's going, are you my mummy? They're all crowning round them, right? And he sends them to bed. Fantastic, okay? Fantastic. Well, it's Chris Eccles. What else are you going to say? Dr. Falls, I love this episode, okay? I freaking love this episode. I love this image of this episode. It is, this was supposed to be his final episode. My only complaint with it, and I wish somebody out there will be able to do this, right? Wouldn't it be great? We needed more generations of Cybermen in there. I would love to have seen Earthshock Cybermen. I would love to have seen, was it Tomb or Moon-based Cybermen? And I'd love to see Invasion Cybermen, right? Just a few of those thrown in, right? I feel like a couple of scenes. That's all we wanted. Would have made a huge difference to me. So it's like this, the 12th Doctor, facing off an army of all different Cybermen. Awesome beyond awesome beyond awesome. I love the whole Master reveal and the relationship with Missy. Everything about this episode, I will say, is near perfect. Even Naldo isn't that annoying, right? So just a fantastic ending. And oh my god, the episode before this, World Enough and Time, when he steps out the TARDIS in the snow and starts regenerating. Awesome, right? Freaking awesome. Parting of the ways. Oh, and that they pick this screen grab, right? This screen grab from it when he basically puts Rose puts her in the TARDIS and sends her away because he's letting himself die. He is a pacifist beyond pacifist. He would rather die than become a warrior again, right? And so he sends Rose away. This incredible speech, right? This incredible speech. And then at the end of it, he thinks it's recorded. He personalizes it and looks right directly at Rose, right? He says, you can only do one thing for me. Right? Just do one thing. And that's, be fantastic, live a great life, and wonderful, right? And then Mickey and Jackie using the Tross's three-wheeler van to pull open the TARDIS console to get them back. Wonderful, right? Absolutely wonderful. Midnight. That was the one I was trying to think of earlier. Bloody. They're putting Midnight well above Turn Left. Look, Midnight's a classy episode. A classic episode. A clever episode, right? It's really worth listening to somewhere or watching it somewhere on a big screen with the best sound you can find. If you can watch it on headphones, right? So you get that surround sound feel, because the sound in this episode is so incredibly scary, right? And this episode is scary. It's like I would say this is what it would be like if Nigel Kill wrote Doctor Who. And great performances. This whole thing really holds together with a cheap episode, basically done with one set, with one of the regular cast, right, and a doctor's son in the background. By the way, have you noticed Jodie doesn't have a look in yet? It's strange, really, because she was about halfway in the middle. We're in the middle of the list by now. There should be some Jodie episodes, should there? No, there's not going to be anyway, because this is the top 30. Pandorica opens. Oh man, I've got the action figure up here. I can't remember if they sold I can't remember when they sold the Pandorica chair, but the whole range, you had like little sides of the Pandorica you could get with the action figures, right? Listen, again, Stephen Moffat really knocking out of the park in the first season. I strongly recommend go watching that trailer again, where you got the Stonehenge and the Underhenge. Everything about this is fantastic. Romans. Like, what about this? What about this? Don't you like? You have the creepy Cybermen with the head coming off, like trying to get Snake Amy. What? Like trying to get the human component. So much about this is so good, and then you got like this Marvel super team of every villain ever throwing him into the Pandorica at the end, and then amazingly, the episode after it, the Big Bang, even better, even freaking better. Big Bang, even freaking better. Let's say, by the way, was it Caitlin? I can't remember her name. Is she looks so much like what's her name again? Amy Pond, what her name of her actor. She looks freakishly like her now. It's really, really bizarre. Yeah, listen, I think, it did two really perfect episodes which ended a perfect season. Good Man Goes to War. So I'm going to disagree with you on this one. Good Man Goes to War feels like a good episode, but it doesn't really hold together on multiple viewings, right? And believe me, this one has had multiple viewings. Try watching a Jodie episode more than once. Oh my God. Let me know in the comments, because I'm thinking about doing a in-depth review of the classic Jodie episodes, like Rosa, Demons of the Punjab. I've got to watch them again. But I want to do like I do with the Star Trek reviews, do like the screen grab to a gazillion screens, so we can really relive it. And now we can look at it in hindsight and see what it is. That'll be hilarious. So this one, while it has a lot of good elements, and it has a lot of good set pieces, in my opinion, doesn't really hold together, right? It just does not really hold together as a story, right? I think people were a bit naff. I just don't think it really works. And then I can't remember how it ended, but I was disappointed with the ending. Then we had like a 6 months break, and I didn't like. It was Let's Kill, and I can't say his name. I just don't think it was a great return either. So I'm going to disagree. Honestly, I think this is this was covered when we did, what's the name? Where is it? Empty Child, Doctor Dancers. I mean, I do like the way the title of Doctor Dancers, because this is about the Doctor getting his groove back, right? Dancing being an allegory to getting your end away, getting your leg over, I guess, which is what they talk about, a lot through it. But this is basically when you get to the end and he solves everything and everybody lives, right? Everybody lives, Rose, right? Everybody lives. I think it's worth an extra mention just for that line, right? And the sheer joy. And I think that was a real changing moment for this Doctor, right? When I say changing moment, now I found out he's finally worked out what the character was about. That's why I think there's a real change in his performance from here to from this block onwards. Family of Blood, again, I think we're covering the same ground at this point. But have you noticed? No Jodie, right? So it kind of reminds me of Saturday Night Live? Saturday Night Live, well, back when it was good. A few years ago, they did a sketch on the Titanic, right? You had a couple of black guys, and they're like saying, we're the third class passengers. We're going to be, or the fourth class passengers. We're going to be on our on our lifeboat soon. And they're running around, the Titanic's sinking, and the people walking the ship saying, okay, first class passengers, go to the lifeboats. First class passengers, go to the lifeboats. And the two black guys like, yeah, they're gonna get us. We'll get in the fourth class passengers any minute. But first, and they were second class passengers. Else they're just second class passengers. Get to the lifeboats. And they're like, okay, second class, we're coming. It's going to be us soon. And then they go third class passengers. We're next, third class passengers. And then they're like, anything. Find some potted plants and put them in the lifeboats. Anything other than saying the fourth class. If we get any empty lifeboats, put them inside the lifeboats. Okay? So, anything other than a Jodie episode is what I'm trying to say, Family of Blood. what's the name of this actor who's very, very good? Yeah, his performance kind of made it. His performance, I loved the Scarecrows. Scarecrow's great, great villain. I love the little girl with the balloon. Why did we never get an action figure of her? I really wanted an action figure of the Family of Blood. I guess not. Journey's End. Which one was Journey's End? Full season. Journey's End. Again, they kind of repeating themselves. They should have done the top 20. Journey's End. I mean, yeah, I guess we got the very silly and a very wonderful TARDIS dragging scene. The TARDIS dragging Earth back to its place with all the companions around it, which I really liked, and it's just pure schmaltz. I think that's what he wanted to do with the End of Time Part 2, when it was like seeing all going on his tour before he regenerated. I just kind of like it when somebody starts regenerating. They regenerate. They don't go off for like a couple of weeks and take a couple of weeks off before they regenerate. It seemed a bit weird to me. But I think that's the vibe they were going for that scene. So we've done the top 20, the bottom 20 or the top 30. Any sign of Jodie? No, not it. War to Nothing Time again. Anything other than saying a Jodie episode. So this one had that creepy build up with the Master being the Master, and turning out he was John Sim was in disguise at the end just to get Bill Potts turned into a cyber person, Cyberman. Just gonna say cyber, get Bill Potts turned into Cyberman. And you know what? I mean, really. They Doctor Who, if it had any balls, which it doesn't right now, could do something really interesting with the horror of having your gender torn away from you, the horror of having your gender, which is something they could have really dealt with here, and they didn't. But I loved Capaldi's performance in this. I love this story. I absolutely love this story. Girl in the Fireplace. So here's the interesting thing about Girl in the Fireplace. It is awesome beyond awesome for the first 35 minutes. For the last 10 minutes, it's kind of just like, stands around doing this for a bit, looking around. Listen, you got the TikTok robots. I mean, the Clockwork robots. Why don't I call them TikTok? I guess that's what my kids call them. But the Clockwork robots, they look absolutely beautiful. The action figures look beautiful. Great pre-title sequence. Doctor jumping through a mirror, which was a nightmare to produce. They were like saying, they were going to cut that, saying we can't have a horse in this stately home. We can't afford the insurance. They just can't do it. And they're like, and Stephen Moffat's like, no, you have to have the Doctor jump through the mirror on a horse. And you know what? I think he's absolutely right. I think that was very definitive of this Doctor, right? This was his first season. Wow, I can't believe that was his first season, and really jumping into it. Doomsday, a little bit weepy, right? That number 7, I don't know. I wouldn't put it up there. I wouldn't put that up there. Although, I have to tell you, I mean, like, one of my sweetest memories when I was watching it with my daughter, Yael, was like, big now. She's a big girl with a big personality. But back 15 years ago, she was a tiny little thing. She was such a small little kid. Oh my God! And I watched Doctor Who with her, and that was one of my greatest pleasures in my life so far. I've been watching the revival of Doctor Who with my kids when they were the right age. I'm hoping I'll have grandkids in about 10 years, and Doctor Who will be back, and I can watch it with them. It's wonderful, right? It's wonderful. But anyway, my daughter, in floods of tears when Rose left. Like, oh, yes. Because she was a little blondie just like Rose, and she used to dress up like Rose. She loved Rose. And it was a sad, weepy one. But man, yeah, Vincent the Doctor. Yeah, that's how you handle mental illness in Doctor Who, right? Mental illness and history, right? A masterclass. It was like the exact opposite of Can You Hear Me? Right? Like an absolute masterclass in writing. Masterclass in acting. Was it Tony Curran played Vanguard? And then you have Vanguard show up later in the season finale. Oh my God! Yeah, and just the reality of mental illness and his particular mental illness and his story because of this, right? Because of this episode, we had a big family vacation. I think a year later, and we went to Paris and we went to Rome. But when we were in Paris, all my kids were like, oh yes, go to was it Musée d'Orsay, right? Was it Musée d'Orsay that he's in? Because they all saw it on Doctor Who, right? And it was, again, this was Doctor Who doing what Doctor Who's supposed to do: entertain, and educate in a really profound, real way, right? By the way, 25 in. How many Jodie we got so far? Yeah, you're picking up on that. Silence in the library. Oh, and again, Moffat not quite as great as when he was with the Doctor Dancers, but a pretty darn good follow-up, wasn't it? No, his follow-up was Blink, wasn't it? I can't remember, but pretty darn good follow-up, introducing us to River Song. I'm kind of sick of the River Song Big Finish box sets, to tell you the truth. The next one is all about her data ghost. Great, fantastic premise, by the way, with this. Dr. Moon, by the way, was supposed to be another version of the Doctor. It was based on the Doctor. That's the one with the cliffhanger with the big spoon thing turning around with Donna Noble. Donna Noble was not on that. That's fantastic. Vashon Narada, again, another fantastic monster, right? It really, Moffat monsters are ones that any kid can imagine. That's why with Rose, they had that scene with the wheelie bin eating Mickey, right? For that reason, to engage kids. Awesome being awesome. Day of the Doctor. And I freaking love Day of the Doctor. Obviously, I love Day of the Doctor. What do I prefer? The 5 Doctors or Day of the Doctor? I prefer the 5 Doctors. You know why I love Day of the Doctor? And it's a silly reason. Other than John Hurt, I love a bit of John Hurt. I like the curator. I love the painting. Gallifrey Falls no more. I love seeing the Time War. But you know what I really liked? And it's really, really silly. The end scene where all the TARDISes come and save Gallifrey. You know, you had the first Doctor, was it? Doctor to the War Council, and they're all there, right? They're all there. It's such insane wish fulfillment, and it's freaking awesome. Freaking awesome beyond awesome. Forest of the Dead? Really? The second part of Silence in the Library? Okay, look, each your own. I mean, it was a good episode, but man, they put it that way up there. I'll put just about every episode we've talked to above this one so far. But okay. Heaven Sent. So here's the question. Do you like Heaven Sent? And also, do you think the Doctor's billions of years old, right? He took billions of years to batter through a wall of a diamond, which I thought was kind of stupid, to make it to Gallifrey. Look, his performance was fantastic. Okay, here's the thing. Heaven Sent is a great on a first-time watch, right? Fantastic, mesmerizing on a first-time watch. But when you watch it again, it falls apart. But again, it really stands on Capaldi's performance. Have you noticed? We've gone through 29 stories now. 29 stories. And for Jodie Whittaker, who we were told were the best ever, not so many. Bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit strange. Yes, I agree with it. It's a little bit strange. Let's see what they say is the number one story. Blink! With the story without the Doctor and Martha, right? Blink, I guess so. I mean, look, it introduced the Weeping Angels. Clever dance story. Moffat really, I think Moffat, I want to say Moffat at his best, but Moffat, just with another solid villain and another solid scary story, which makes me interested really, because the Russell T Davies return. Moffat has said of it, the Russell T Davies has said he wants to make it super scary. Now Moffat's always been the scary one, right? The scary one in New Who. And Russell Davis has always been a bit more the family-friendly one. So what do you think he's planning? I'm really, really, really intrigued. But anyway, so here we have a narrative hitting reality, right? This was a reality. Somebody was asked to say his personal list of top 30 stories. 30 stories for somebody who's done as well as Jodie Whittaker. They said she's done. She should have been there somewhere, shouldn't she? But she wasn't, right? Because this was somebody's genuine reflection. This was reality. What was the narrative? The article beforehand. The article beforehand, we said, well, Jodie Whittaker can't be the worst. No, that'll be crazy. That'll be cray-cray. Because no, she's stunning and brave. The best is ever. Misogynist. Yeah. Reality has hit the narrative. Once again. And as we see, For everybody saying they love the current era Doctor Who, they really, really, genuinely do not. Right? They really, really, absolutely, genuinely do not. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.